So, I wanted to get on today and share a message with the collective for those who are spiritually awakened and shifting in their higher consciousness and wanting to usher in 5D energy and New Earth. And if you are like the rest of the collective, you might be feeling a little discouraged by the energy going on around right now and results of an election or things happening. And I want to give you some insight and encouragement from my understanding that I've received from my spirit team. Now, I understand that this is not necessarily an easy message to receive in the middle of what seems like an upheaval of chaos, but the message that I'm receiving from my spirit team is to remind the collective that by staying grounded and in the energy of love and compassion for yourself and others, we can continue to raise the consciousness and frequency of the earth to shift into the 5D energy. What they've revealed to me were a couple of things, and I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. They began to show me two batteries together in a vision earlier, and they explained to me that the two batteries are used to bring energy to the thing that it is connecting with. And then they began to explain to me that the more batteries that come together, the more power there is. And that sometimes the thing that you are trying to give power to needs more and more of the same energy. And that is what the awakened ones represent, is the energy that comes from those batteries. Now, they also said that each awakened soul, those who have raised in their higher consciousness and are more connected to their divine frequency of love and who they really are as their higher self, are becoming mirrors for the 3D world. Now, people do not change and they cannot heal until they see themselves. We can look in a mirror all the time, every single day, and turn away and not see our own reflection. And this is also a verse that was in the Bible, that people will look in a mirror and walk away and not remember their reflection. And that's what the 3D world is. It means that you're asleep. You're unknowingly walking through the world, having no clue who you really are as a spiritual being, as a eternal spirit. And with the programming and idea that this is it, this human life is it, and then we move on and God either accepts us or doesn't. And that's just not the reality and truth of the entire universe. And those who have been able to awaken understand that. However, what is needing to happen now is that those who are awakened or a part of the collective consciousness that is helping New Earth being ushered in and the frequency rise on the earth, their mirror, the light that they're becoming, is an important role in exposing dark energy in the 3D world. And as we expose the dark energy in the 3D world, the dust is going to begin to rise. And that's what we see happening. The collective has revealed what energy they are still in, at least here in our country, where I am, in America, with the United States of America in particularly. A lot of the world kind of is watching in confusion and like what just happened. But the reality of it is things cannot shift into higher consciousness until things are revealed. And that's part of why this is happening. And it sucks. I'm not going to lie. This is part of the awakening that is the hardest that we have to go through, is allowing the darkness to be revealed. And the way that my spirit team explained this to me is when dust begins to, be upheavaled and fly around and overtake things, it's easy to begin to look at the dust because that's what you can see around you. But the way that you help dust settle is by not engaging with it. Because when the dust begins to fly and you start to run around in it, you try to fix it or control it, you're just stirring up more dust as you do that. So in order for you to help the dust settle, what you must do is remain still. What you must do is work on yourself and your own energy and frequency, which is through meditation and continuing to rise your own vibration, clearing out your own dust, your own negative mindset or fears that maybe were programmed into you as you were being programmed as a young adult or a child. And so, as the dust is starting to be stirred up throughout the collective in order to reveal things, our job is to not focus on the dust, but to focus on the light within. And by focusing on the light within, we become those batteries, the energy of the collective that can help clear out the dust and allow it to settle in a new way. And the purpose of this happening is to clear the things out that cannot be ushered into the 5D New Earth energy. And as the collective souls that are here as healers and light workers and star seeds and the people that are meant to be the ones that shift into the 5D energy, even though we are looking forward to a day that's going to be more loving and peaceful and have unity in those things, we are also the ones that have to go through the darkness alongside the 3D world of revealing itself. Because in order for a time split to happen through the 3D and the 5D, they both have to be seen. And so, even though we are beginning to see a glimpse of how things can improve, we are also very connected to the 3D world because the 3D energy is still very much more strong than the 5D and the 4D. The 3D world is still ruling in the energy. And so, in order for 3D energy to no longer be the what is ruling the world, it has to be exposed. And right now, part of what is happening is more and more of the collective energy is being exposed. And as it's being exposed, those of us that are awakened have to remain the light to provide the mirror back into the 3D energy in order for it to see itself. Because we can't change a behavior unless we see our behavior. We can't change who we are unless we know who we are. And so when you shine your light into the dust or the darkness around you without becoming a part of it, it provides a safety and a refuge for those who are awakening still to move into the light and to be able to work with the higher frequency that we've already ushered in to the earth. And so as the earth is continuing to shift into higher consciousness, more and more of this is going to be stirred up in order to reveal it so that the timeline can split, so that the 3D can move away from the 5D and the 4D and let go of some of that old energy and trauma in order to move the consciousness of humanity into a higher frequency. This is not an easy position for the collective to be in, the awakened collective to be in, because we are those who have been sent to usher this in. And that is why we are here on earth at this time. And many of us want to focus on the positive and the things that are really going to be great once we are able to move through all this. And we should be excited about that. We should know that that is where we're going. But to get there, we have to go through this too. We have to let go of what we're not. And so as you become a mirror for the 3D world to see themselves and to reveal themselves and to choose whether they are going to follow the enlightened, awakened way or not, your job isn't to try to convince them to wake up or to begin to work on their frequency or change. Your job is just simply to be the mirror, to be the light that they can look at and they can sense and feel and use to reflect back to themselves. I think back 10 years ago, before I had my spiritual awakening in 2016, about how I was also walking in the darkness. I was completely unaware of who I was. I was completely unaware of all the things I know now. And if you've had an awakening, you know that it can happen very quickly sometimes. And the things that are revealed to you are pretty traumatizing sometimes because you start to see the world differently. And so, if you can imagine being a mirror for the 3D world to begin to see themselves, they're going to start seeing these things that are shocking and revealing and confusing and scary. And that mirror reflection that we all have when we have our awakening, where we start to see our ego and we start to see what is really in our heart, is difficult because we have a choice of whether we want to stay in it or move out. And in order to move out of what has been in our heart that was programmed into it through the 3D world, we have to face it. We have to look at it. We have to feel it. We have to spend time in it. And it's not an easy process to go through that healing of releasing the energies of who you're not to reveal more of who you are. And so, as the collective continues to go through this major shift, and as things continue to be revealed in the next months and years, the job of the awakened collective is to remain in a pure light of continuing to work on their own frequency and continuing to release their own ego as we keep shifting more and more into new earth. And so I know that sometimes it can feel really scary to see things unfolding around us the way they are, but that is why we're here right now. The light of our soul purposely came here to be what reveals the darkness on the earth so that we can be a part of helping to shift in the new consciousness and new earth for all humanity that will eventually be living more aligned with the 5D energy. And those children and the children of the children that are going to be coming in the next waves of souls coming back to earth, they're going to be able to be in the light that we are ushering in now. And so that is why it's so important to continue to focus on our own light and not get caught up in the darkness that is going on around us. Because our role as a collective energy together is to continue to combine the frequency that we have already shifted into, to continue to allow that shift to rise in consciousness around us, and then allow those who are meant to awaken to see themselves through that. So if you are needing encouragement at all today, I hope that this brings a little bit to you. I understand that it's not a super encouraging message that I am sharing with you, but in a way it gives me a little bit of hope and reminder that this is really why I'm here on earth right now as an awakened soul, is to bring this in, is to usher in new energy. But in order for new energy and new light and new consciousness to come in, we also have to see the old, and we have to reveal the darkness that has kept us from seeing the light in our true self. So if you are looking for spiritual mentorship, feel free to reach out to me. The links below. You are welcome to email me or set up a consultation, and we can talk about how you can be supported through this next season of life as things continue to shift on the earth and we continue to split timelines and move into higher consciousness and new earth energy.